I repeat, in Ghana, our next door neighbor, into Cotonou, we can even trek from Lagos, we can trek and cross over. They are not slaughtering their people like chicken. And so we are all accountable and we are all responsible. Something is very, very, very wrong in the north, in the east, in the south, in the west. Too much. If it's not banditry, it is kidnapping, it is community. In fact, on Sunday, somebody just told me a story of how a taxi man identified the person in trouble with a Ghana must go with human parts. But as God will have it, he had thought he escaped with it. But somehow, by intuition, the taxi man, when the story was told of where they saw the Ghana must go back, around Kubwa. I'm sure people have heard about it. Yes. And so the taxi man, very intelligent, and let me say by grace, guided by grace, when he dropped the man, he looked again. So he identified where the man entered. That's the saving grace. That's how the man. So when he says, this description fits the man I dropped, he now went to look. He said, I think the Ghana must go. And so he now went and told the police. He entered this house. What if? What if? You know we're not just slicing eggs, we're not cutting it into parts. This is where we are. I just want to paint the gory picture of where we are. And so this is a huge call. That's part of why we came here. We're not here to romance the matter. This ministry, by your policy, trust and direction, strategic engagement, has a huge responsibility. Because the next person's head that will be sliced will be your auntie. You could even be in church. You could be in the mosque praying. I'm sure we have so many different, they've gone haywire. What is happening to our brothers? Then you now hear stories, oh, the brother entered, they didn't enter, and so. But going forward, let me just, this is the picture of why we thought services are failing around our security. It's not only the police alone. Because the next thing you say, we are not the police, we are police. It's your policy that will shape and firmly supervise and make them act as should. If those strategic engagements are not done and policies are not firmed up, if the police people are not properly prepared in terms of their engagement terms, then they will not deliver. You don't expect people to give what they don't have. And so part of the blame rests here. Permit me to talk like this because that's what they put me on seat to do. That's what Mr. President said I should go around and be talking. Again, powered by also the SGF. And so we're to facilitate service improvement and engage providers with service takers, bring you feedback from the public, from what we have observed, from feedback that come to us. I was on live radio program this morning. A man said on Sunday, his wife and 4 children were arrested. Since Sunday, he doesn't know where they are. Said police, somebody just made report, they arrested them, and there's no lead to where he can find them. They saw me, I said, okay, I don't have the ability of ordinary president. Go there. I just told them, please engage this man with PRO. It's important, his whole life is a mess. All he has is, he can't find them. It has only happened here, why? And it's a police process. So in terms of the outputs and outcomes and what they do, should be firmly checked. So that people don't take laws into their hands. I'm sure I'm talking to our learned, he knows the rest because I'm not learned. I'm just saying it from the SERVICOM and service delivery point of view. I am not learned. But this is what Nigerians, I just got this feedback and I thought I should share. So in terms of going to arrest people, you just bump into people's house. The man was not there, they picked this, no clue as to where they've taken them. If he were a hypertensive patient, he would have died before he could take those children and family. And it's police that did this. Who is to be held accountable? What if he's a kidnapper disguised as police? He doesn't even know. Since Sunday, he was almost running mad. He said, Madam, I can't find my children. I said, let them engage the PRO. and look for your children. I know because I also have children. You can imagine what it's going through. So having said that, today we are here to do the following. We want to talk about the functionality and performance of the SERVICOM units of this ministry. We want to talk about the service improvements, sustained. I use the word sustained because it's service improvement that we must build on from stage to stage to stage until we have visible improvements. By your policy trust, by your strategic engagement, we will look at what the police is doing to see improvements. I'm also here with my office, so he's a policeman. But because of the nature of my job, it doesn't wear uniform, so I can enter places and see things the way I want to see them. But if he wears uniform, yeah, it will give me up if I get it. So some of the feedback I will also read. And so we engage. So going forward, we are looking at aspects of training them. For instance, mode of arrest, how they should be, comportment. Do they even have confidence in themselves? For you to do a good job, you have to exude a lot of confidence. And you have to be, for you to have that confidence and trust in what, you have to love your job. The question is, do they love their job? And that question is take home assignment for this ministry. So take home, you will give me the answer when I come next. Because we'll come to evaluate that and send it to the head chair through to Mr. President. The issue of the service charter. Service charter is a document that tells us what you do, how you do it, and the standard, and then the commitment. It's a promise that must be kept. Do we even realize there is a tool that can help us fix some of these gaps and better frame up our regulatory and supervisory ability in this ministry? And then the issue of service charter review and work plan. Every year we ask ministries, departments, and agencies under SERVICOM, tell us what you will do to improve customer service, stakeholder management. And so they do that, they have the CEOs approve them and we monitor. And that's what tells us whether the SERVICOM formation in any ministry department is functional or not. And so at the end of the year, we come to carry out an evaluation of the effectiveness of the functionality level of every SERVICOM office in ministries, departments, and agencies, and we give them award. The question is, how much award can you end? And so, looking at the functionality, SERVICOM unit will do better if they are properly positioned. If the management, especially the chief accounting officer, the FEMSEC, I'm sure every reporting will also reach him, since he is ably represented, doubly represented by a learned colleague. Not colleague, learned men. I use men because he's a director and also learned, so double. And now he's representing the FEMSEC 3. So that's why I use men. So going forward, be useful in decision. And I want to use the example of INEC. When we went to introduce SERVICOM, it was a Herculean task when Professor Jetta was there. They resisted it. Madam, we don't need this. No, we know we are professional, we know everything. It took him a lone voice in the wilderness. We need, if there's anything we need here, SERVICOM, to check us as service providers and also to check the people who come to us for service. Because in your service charter, you would have told them how services, what the list of your services are, and the set standards, and the set standards and the measurable standards for delivering on those mandates and services that government has set you up to do. And so people will not expect more than you can give. For instance, before I came on this assignment, I had to go and study the service charter. It's not clear in the open what you do. You know, you have police affairs, you have police service commission. It can be very confusing. Let out, thank God, the director and head of protocol and press is here for free. Please, we want to invite you to our radio program. Come and tell us what you do and how you engage, the strategies. This letter of invitation will be extended so that Nigerians can know exactly what your roles and assigned responsibilities are. It's not clear to me as head of service. I had to study. The desk officer had to engage her severally. Let me have this. I needed to understand so I can speak to issues that affect you. If I'm to facilitate the office working together to facilitate service improvement, you need to understand. So it's not in the public domain. I'm saying on behalf of Nigerians, you need to engage more with your stakeholders, including us, so that, and every Nigerian, so that they know exactly what and how they can engage with you. And when they have feedback, how they can also engage directly with your ministry. This is very key. And so, with units is also required to draw from departments, have a committee. And this committee, I want to believe that because I heard the introduction. And so these committees that are set up, they are not just there to only come for SERVICOM meeting. They have a role to play. The inspectorate representative, the legal representative, they have to regularly meet with the SERVICOM at the center, headed by the director, to bring about key service improvement issues, and then also bring feedback. For instance, identify the stakeholders, segment them, and then get feedback, and then with data, bring those reports to your management to inform them this is where we need to do more, this is where we're getting it right, and this is where we can also work more. And so we need you to meet and regularly bring out innovative ideas, out of the box thinking around how this office, this ministry can further engage to touch, reposition the Nigerian police. So you have a responsibility. How well are you doing it? And so this is another take-home assignment. And so they will also be involved in stakeholder engagements to get feedback, I've said that, rendered, and for better ways of getting things done, especially as supervisor and as a regulatory ministry supervising the police. And so sustain service improvement drive. We need a lot of information. I've said that we need to publicize information to all stakeholders, including the market pepper seller who doesn't speak plenty English. And so they need to know online, social media. Is there a number we can call with confidence and then we get real-time response? That is what this advocacy visit is about. Where there are gaps, please, SERVICOM, let us begin to feel and level the mountains. We are not feeling it. We are not feeling it from outside as public. We need to feel you more in terms of quality and touching of lives by your services. And so periodic performance of monitoring and reporting on the self-assessment based on your promises in the service charter. We're going to do a lot of survey, a lot of engagement. At the key service point, the key technical departments, is there a feedback comment card form where people can see exactly how they have been treated while receiving service? Is there that sensitivity? If it's not there, then we need to do some. Regularly consult with stakeholders. Who are your key stakeholders? Are you hearing from the police, both the high and the low and the medium? We keep getting a lot of complaints. But let me say that a bit of it has reduced. On this pension, why is the military so well? I don't know. This might not directly be you. Can we do something to reposition the police to do better in terms of motivation, in terms of moral boosting, in terms of what they need to do, especially on the challenges to it? For instance, delays associated with payment of benefits or pension. Sometimes the women, the wives lose their husbands and they tell gory stories of how they are treated with a lot of disdain. They are treated, in fact, some of them go through thick and thin before they can get their benefits. Why is it so? Is it that, but this thing doesn't happen in Ghana. I keep using Ghana. And that is why their policing works. But if we don't have pension that can deliver to them, it won't work. They will rather stand on the road and collect money because they are not sure of tomorrow. For real. Or get engaged with some bandits and connive with, what do they call them? Abductors, what do they call them? Kidnappers. You know, somebody is offering 500,000 and you have not received your salary. You don't even, your pension is 10,000. There are some miserable figures they call. So do it quick. If it takes grace and moral and DNA to resist such. But where is that is lacking? Temptation 1, temptation 2. By the third one, say, let me give myself some sense. They will go for it. So there's so much to be done. And so we're also looking at professionally preparing both staff here and the police, coming up with a lot of trainings, capacity building, updates of skills. And we have the SERVICOM Institute. So from SERVICOM and all the desk officers, we need to train them, we need to update their capacity and capability to be able to give best customer service, from here. So training of the representative of all of these people representing is important. And we're bringing this so that as a pointer, we know that PEMSECs are already knowledgeable and they know all about this, but these are subtle reminders to enable them remember so that we can better engage. And so we have our training calendar, and so please, we need you to support these people to be properly positioned to think out of the box and proactively drive innovative strategies around customer service and service improvement for this ministry, departments, and agencies. We are ever ready to support you. We have lists of trainings. We have our calendar every year, and so we have specialized training, we have customized training, we also have general training. And these trainings include customer care training, complaints handling, and performance management training. We want to train people to begin to think like the public sector. Compare notes, benchmark with others. What is working in Ghana that is not working here in terms of policing and what we can suggest to do better. And so the service charter is due for review, and that's the key tool with which we engage. This is a tool that engages the service charter of the ministry. Is a tool that guides expectations, every stakeholder, from the policeman, the rank and file, and the big time of including IDs. All of that, what you do for them. We need all of those services broken down into measurable standards. Right now, there's a service charter that is inadequate. And so we need to work with you, reposition so it's a key process that needs to happen. Engaging with the director and her team, her committee members, so that we can train and engage properly on this. And so to this end, the review of the service charter is needed so as to spell out services, standards for the services, and also available complaints mechanisms. We know that services fail. It's only God's system that is perfect. And so sometimes you have said you treat files within 24 hours. This is a hypothetical example. 48 hours, let me not be too ambitious. Every file that enters, they will treat within 48 hours. And now, that is a promise. That is a standard. It can be measured. Then we have a tool for measuring it. And so we want to report from the HR admin and files. Every file in this ministry, are they treated within, including mails? Do you acknowledge, for instance, you have a standard, every mail must be acknowledged as soon as it's received. Are we doing that? We still have issues of mails, missing files, people sitting on files. Even where we have standards for redressing complaints, issues, or failures. So let all of this be captured here so that we can use it to track, we can use it to measure performance. We can also work to improve on that. And so we solicit your support, the PEMSEC, the top management. We solicit your support to fund the activities of the year 2022 work plan. It's just there. It has been brought to us, but they need to implement. And if it is properly implemented, we have visible difference, visible improvement on the quality of services delivered by this ministry. When SERVICOM works, everybody is a beneficiary of that. You, the service provider, will be very fulfilled. And then the service taker is excited to engage and work with you. And so it's one tool that ensures that the engagement terms are clear to everyone. And so they don't expect more than you can give. And you is also an engagement tool that tells them this is exactly what you can give. And so it's a promise that has to be kept. And so we need to rework this and begin to keep it as a promise. And then it also helps us to measure performance. Where are we today? When this will be, and begin to implement. There are processes and stages of training that will bring to valuable training that we can bring to achieve all of this. And so what is the way forward? Going forward, we want to ensure that management should ensure SERVICOM is made visible. If I enter here, I don't have to ask anybody. Or even right from the lift, because there are so many offices here. From the lift, there should be directed, there should be a standing, very visible way, showing every office. Is it there? Maybe I didn't look well. Well, I wasn't wearing my glasses. When I go back, I wear my glasses and check. But I didn't see that. Directing every office, telling us how to go from ground floor to every office. Are all the offices properly labeled, tables properly labeled with names? So those are questions and take-home assignments. We are not evaluating you yet because we have also approval of FEC to evaluate and report to President how far the taxpayers' money is being used to achieve the mandate he has set you to work on. And so going forward, we want to see SERVICOM very visible. We want to see proper signage. We want to see proper letting out of information. And so we look at the example of monitoring visits and meeting with parastatals. You also have parastatals that you supervise. How well? Are they part of your network? Are they part of your improvement drive? How are their customer service faring? And so it's also the business of the SERVICOM in the ministry to bring all of those in, because indeed you're also supervising them. And so management of the police, for instance, a lot of time we see them change every hour, every day. They're appointing nodal officer, frequently they appoint them, and even when they are there, they walk out and leave because the support is not also there. We've gone to the IG, and I told him I was running the test on him. He kept him waiting. I said, last time the former IG was here, waited a whole day with international support donors that came to improve aspects of their service that we worked hard to bring. They didn't receive us. That's how that money went. I said today, I told this president, I said today I've come to carry out an evaluation. If he didn't receive it today, I'll go to the press. He said, thank God, oh, madam, I brought you in. Should it be like that? The answer is no. So let's be more accountable, especially the way we treat visitors. I came with good news, but they thought it was business as usual. That money went. Huge sums of funds went. And we have done the background work. We even got somebody from inside to tell that indeed we're coming for the good. And we were given, please come on, so we waited the full day. We didn't see him, and so when I went back, persuading them to come, I said, no, they are done. And that's how we lost out. So it's important that we treat our visitors right. But every office, you will find a way. And again, if you are not ready to see the people, don't give the impression that we should come. And then the answer and the explanation, security changes like weather. That's how that weather changed, and the people went away with that. That's not. It also changes like weather everywhere else, not only in Nigeria. Only in Nigeria, the weather is also unpredictable. That the only thing you can predict is when people's heads are sliced on a daily basis. Yes. And so the way forward is to solicit support of everyone. All hands should be on there. When SERVICOM is working here, everybody will be happy. We're all protected. Mr. President will be happy with you. You will see visible difference. The stakeholders are the most important. Take them away from here. You don't have any business being in this office. And so we must learn to give them their due priority. Preference is to treat them well.